In the same vein as killing your babies and iteration is the concept of seeking out feedback and criticism in order to improve. I mean this in all senses. I mean asking your clients if you can make yourself easier to work with, asking the director to give you very specific notes on your edit, asking friends and family to watch the final product, give their opinion, and then learning from it to improve on your work the next time around. Film is an art form and therefore inherently subjective. Film is intended for audiences, and you need to know how your audience is responding to your film. You can only get so far with speculation and guesswork. At a certain point, you just have to show your product to the people you want to watch your product to see how they react to it. Pretty much every professional project I have ever worked for has done audience testing. They get a version of the cut that is close to finished, and then they send it out to small groups of audiences to get their responses. I worked on a TV show where they held free screenings and asked people for direct, harsh feedback so that they could understand where audiences were confused and what audiences liked and didn't like. When I was working in advertising, we would often go to college campuses or other public spaces and ask people, bribe people with food to ask them to watch our video and provide feedback on it. No matter your expertise, by virtue of working on the project, you are going to have the curse of knowledge. The curse of knowledge is a psychological concept that states that the more you know, the more you don't know that people don't know. Sorry, that was a confusing explanation. Essentially, you start to lose sight of just how much you know because you know so much. This is why some doctors and scientists have a hard time explaining to their patients and students exactly the basic processes, explaining it in a way that a layperson can understand, because they understand so much about the topic that they don't even know where to start to explain to you because they have 10 years of layers of experience. It's taken me 6 months to actively break down editing to the point where I know where I need to start for students. It takes work to no longer have the curse of knowledge. So if you've been working on this project for several weeks, you know it inside and out. You know all of the takes that you didn't use. You maybe even saw the script. And so you know what it's supposed to be. So when you show it to an audience member who hasn't seen any of those takes, who doesn't know the director personally, who hasn't read the script, who hasn't had 15 conversations about creatively what this thing is supposed to be, and they have no context for it, you don't know what you don't know about it. You don't know how they're going to respond to it. I don't know why I'm trying to convince you. Obviously, it makes sense. You need feedback. Now, as an editor, you're work for hire on a specific portion of the film process. You're not in charge of making sure that this film gets audience screenings in order to make sure that it's going to perform well with audiences and actually make its money back. That's the production and distribution teams. You don't have to do that. But ideally, you're working on projects where they do that so that your work can look as good as it possibly can. You need the feedback from audiences telling you which babies that you need to kill so that your project can be better overall. Not only that, but you can use this to a smaller extent on your own work. You can ask for lots of feedback from people who aren't you in order to make sure that people are enjoying your stuff. Getting audience feedback is one of the best ways to improve quickly. It's one of the biggest reasons why we have the student community, so that you can get direct feedback from other students and from the instructors.